In the annals of American television history, few names shine as brightly as that of Johnny Carson. From the moment he stepped onto the stage of The Tonight Show in 1962, Carson captivated audiences across the nation with his quick wit, affable demeanor, and unparalleled ability to connect with guests from all walks of life. For 30 years, he reigned as the king of late-night TV, turning a simple talk show into a cultural phenomenon that shaped entertainment and society. Even in the present day, his impact remains significant, serving as a reminder of the enduring strength of laughter, conversation, and human connection in a constantly evolving world. While his professional journey is widely known, his quest for love, particularly the love of his life, remains a tale that is often overlooked. From women who married him for his wealth and fame but couldn't handle his lifestyle, to many more intriguing stories, we uncover the untold chapters of Johnny Carson's personal life. But before we embark on this captivating journey, let's take a deep dive into who Johnny Carson truly was. John William Carson was born in Corning, Iowa on October 23, 1925. His parents were Ruth Elizabeth Carson and Homer Lloyd Carson. He had an older sister named Catherine and a younger brother named Richard. As a child, he lived in different towns in Iowa before moving to Norfolk, Nebraska at the age of 8. At 12, he discovered a book of magic, which sparked his passion for performing. He would often perform for his family, asking them to pick a card. His first official performance was for the local Kiwanis Club, where he went by the name The Great Carson. By 14, he was earning $3 per show, performing at picnics and county fairs, and after graduating from high school, he had his first experience in Hollywood. However, his time there didn't go smoothly as he was arrested and fined for impersonating a midshipman. John William Carson's unexpected journey began when he joined the United States Navy on June 8, 1943. He underwent rigorous training as part of the V-12 Navy College training program at prestigious institutions like Columbia University and Millsaps College. The boxing ring also played a significant role in his military experience, as Carson had an impressive record of 15 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. Amidst the chaos of war, boxing provided solace and honed his physical abilities and unyielding spirit. However, it was his talent for entertainment that truly set Carson apart. As a communications officer, he discovered his passion for magic and entertainment. A life-changing encounter with the Secretary of the Navy altered Carson's path, and he began dreaming of becoming a magician. Carson seized the opportunity to showcase his talents to military power and captivated the Secretary with a card trick. After the war, Carson pursued education at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, where he honed his skills and showcased his magic for a fee. He later switched to speech and drama to pursue a career in radio performance. In 1962, Carson was chosen to host The Tonight Show, where he entertained viewers with his playful monologues and memorable stunts. Carson's popularity with the late-night audience soared, and the advertising revenue from his show became incredibly lucrative. In 1967, NBC had to entice Johnny back to The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, 1962, with a 3-year contract guaranteeing him a minimum of $4 million after a brief walkout. By the early 1970s, TV Guide reported that Carson was earning a staggering $2 million per year, making him the highest-paid TV entertainer ever. He repeatedly broke his own record, eventually earning a jaw-dropping $5 million annual salary in the 1980s. Carson's ability to create an intimate atmosphere with his guests and audiences solidified his status as the undefeated king of nighttime TV. Numerous talk shows, hosted by the likes of Joey Bishop and Dick Cavett, as well as other non-talk show programs, were launched year after year in an attempt to dethrone him. However, they all failed, with the exception of ABC News Nightline, 1980, which emerged halfway through Carson's reign. His tumultuous love life, including 2 high-profile divorces, became tabloid fodder for publications like The National Enquirer and later People magazine. In fact, he even became the subject of a pulp novel in the early 1970s. Carson's life has been extensively documented, with at least 7 published biographies dedicated to him. Besides his witty exchanges with famous personalities, he entertained his viewers for 3 decades with exaggerated skit comedy performed by his Mighty Carson art players and his parody psychic character, Karnak the Magnificent. He delivered memorable jabs at politicians and celebrities, a style that was adopted by his successors Jay Leno and David Letterman, as well as countless comedians who came later. Whenever a joke fell flat during his opening monologue, Carson would react with a hurt expression as the audience groaned, fully acknowledging the cringe-worthy nature of the failed joke. Following up these misfires with a clever, self-deprecating comment created a special bond between Carson and his audience. During the 1960s and 1970s, Johnny Carson emerged as a prominent liberal figure who possessed the ability to shape society beyond the realm of popular culture. His opening monologues held such sway that a mere joke about a shortage of toilet paper triggered a nationwide panic and scarcity. Carson's comedic critique of President Nixon during the Watergate crisis was acknowledged for its impact on Nixon's approval rating, ultimately leading to his resignation. Following Carson's era, it became customary for politicians to make appearances on late-night talk shows in pursuit of votes. However, Carson's deep connection with American culture resulted in the rejection of The Tonight Show by British audiences due to their unfamiliarity with his topical references. Despite opportunities in the film industry, Carson remained dedicated to television, hosting renowned stars and even the prestigious Academy Awards. Additionally, he ventured into the production of TV shows and movies through his own company, Carson Productions. Carson, a 6-time Emmy winner, pondered a successor to The Tonight Show, but ultimately found nothing that piqued his interest. He chose to spend his final years in a peaceful retirement in Malibu, California, reflecting his preference for privacy. As a result, The Tonight Show stands as his enduring creative legacy. He maintained his position as a top TV personality until the very end, with the show dominating its time slot for 3 decades. Carson's farewell episode remains one of the most highly rated late-night TV shows in history. Carson's on-camera persona may have been charismatic, but off-camera, he was a completely different person. Despite his fame, he preferred to steer clear of large gatherings and was often referred to as the most private public man who ever lived. It was evident that Carson struggled with social interactions, as Dick Cavett empathetically expressed, "I felt sorry for Johnny and that he was so socially uncomfortable. I've hardly ever met anybody who had as hard a time as he did." George Axelrod further highlighted Carson's social unease by stating, "Socially, he doesn't exist. The reason is that there are no television cameras in living rooms. If human beings had little red lights in the middle of their foreheads, Carson would be the greatest conversationalist on earth." Carson's reserved nature extended beyond social discomfort. He had a knack for evading discussions about politics, social controversies, his childhood, and his personal life during interviews. Instead, he would provide journalists with a list of written responses, including simple answers like yes, I did, no, I didn't, and even the unexpected no. Kumquats. Carson's guarded approach to his private life only added to the enigma surrounding him. Carson, the renowned host of The Tonight Show, held a diverse range of political and social perspectives. He voiced his opposition to the Vietnam War, advocated for racial equality, and stood against capital punishment, criminalizing extramarital affairs and pornography. However, Carson was cautious about discussing his views on his show, fearing that it could jeopardize his successful entertainment career. Privately, he supported the idea of liberalizing abortion and divorce laws. Carson rarely featured political figures on his show, as he aimed to maintain its non-political nature. Despite his conservative upbringing, Carson adopted a Republican stance that opposed excessive government control, the influence of big money, bullies, and pompous individuals. He even served as the master of ceremonies for Ronald Reagan's inaugural gala. In a legal matter, Carson pleaded no contest to driving with a blood alcohol level above the limit, while other charges were dismissed. As a consequence, he faced fines, probation, and attended driver's education classes. Although Carson was raised Methodist, he did not regularly attend church as an adult, but had some religious involvement during his school years. Carson, the legendary figure who captivated audiences with his on-screen charm and charisma, was a man of mystery when it came to his personal life. He kept his family and relationships hidden from the public eye, leaving us with only fragments of information about his tumultuous love life. Back in 1948, when Carson was just starting his journey into adulthood, he tied the knot with his first wife, Jody Walcott. Their marriage, although initially fueled by love, was far from a fairy tale. It was plagued by complexities, with reports of abuse and infidelity tarnishing their bond. The cracks in their relationship became too deep to mend, leading to their separation in 1959 and eventual divorce in 1963. Together, they welcomed 3 children into the world: Christopher Carson, Corey Carson, and Richard Carson. Tragically, their family was struck by immense sorrow when Richard lost his life in a devastating car accident in 1991. Following her divorce from Carson, Walcott sought solace in another marriage in 1970. However, fate dealt her another blow as her second marriage also ended in heartbreak. Carson's personal life may have been shrouded in secrecy, but the fragments we have reveal a story of love, pain, and resilience. Despite the challenges he faced, Carson's undeniable talent and on-screen persona continue to shine brightly in the annals of entertainment history. Carson tied the knot with Joanne Copeland, a model and Pan American World Airways stewardess, just a few months after his initial divorce. Rumor has it that the pair began dating in 1960 while Carson was still married to his first wife. They eventually got married in 1963, a year after Carson started hosting The Tonight Show. Their marriage, however, came to an end in 1972 after a heated legal battle. Copeland received $100,000 annually in alimony and a $200,000 cash settlement as part of their agreement. Copeland opened up about her ex-husband, Carson, and her close friend Truman Capote. She described Carson as a compassionate man with strong moral values, often misunderstood by others. She also revealed Carson's reserved and private personality, expressing her care for him even after their separation. As for Capote, who passed away in Copeland's writing room in 1984, she fondly reminisced about their 2-decade-long friendship. She spoke of their unbreakable bond and referred to the late novelist as her companion, mentor, and confidant. During an interview on CNN's A Larry King Live in 2007, Copeland, who also ventured into acting and television hosting like her ex-husband, shared a charming anecdote about their first date. She recalled Carson inviting her to watch one of his shows, jokingly asking if it was his way of saying, "Come up and see my etchings." In the years that followed her marriage to Carson, Copeland chose not to have children. Her subsequent marriage to Richard Rever also ended in divorce. Tragically, Copeland passed away on May 8, 2015, at the age of 83 in her Los Angeles home. In 1972, amidst the dissolution of his marriage to Copeland, Carson embarked on a new chapter by secretly marrying Joanna Holland. The news of Carson's third marriage, and Holland's first, was unveiled as a surprise during the 10th anniversary celebration of his show. Holland, a renowned model who collaborated with esteemed American designers, captured Carson's heart. Despite Carson's refusal to sign a prenuptial agreement, reflecting his belief in the durability of their love, their union eventually faltered. Sadly, the couple filed for divorce in 1983. After a lengthy legal process, the former spouses reached a settlement 2 years later, with Holland receiving a substantial sum of $20 million. Carson, after his third failed marriage, chose to remain unmarried but still entertained the idea of dating a few women, one of whom was actress Sally Field. In 2016, Field made an appearance on Andy Cohen's show where she was asked about her thoughts on dating Carson. At first, the Academy Award-winning actress seemed puzzled as she likened dating the famous host to the octopus and the reluctant little guppy. Despite referring to him as a wonderful person, Field explained her hesitance towards Carson, admitting that she was never good at rejecting people. To avoid uncomfortable situations, Field would make up excuses such as losing her mind or going through a mental breakdown, indirectly conveying to the renowned comedian that she was not interested in pursuing a relationship. Despite Carson's undeniable charm and attractive appearance, he faced difficulties in his marriages, with none of them being successful except for one. It was believed that the TV host had a complex personality and blamed his mother for the failures in his marital life. Reportedly, Carson remained single from 1983 to 1987, choosing to avoid any long-term commitments or romantic involvements. Despite his complex nature, love knocked on Carson's door again when he crossed paths with Alexis Mass, a woman 26 years younger than him. He met her while she was walking on the sand in front of his home on Malibu Beach. She was in a swimsuit, carrying an empty wine glass at the time. Carson approached the then 33-year-old Mass, a native of Pittsburgh who worked in a stock brokerage then, and invited her inside for a drink. Though he reportedly told her numerous times during their 3-year courtship that he'd never remarry, time proved him wrong. Sources claimed that Carson was still between marriages when he invited Merv Griffin on his show. At the time, Griffin was said to be in a relationship with Eva Gabor. Although Carson didn't like to discuss anyone's married life, he asked Griffin about his wedding plans with Gabor. Instead of being upset, Griffin handled Carson's remark by asking when he and Mass intended to marry. Seeming unfazed by the counter-question, Carson quickly changed the topic. In 1987, in a secret ceremony at his Malibu home, which he bought in 1984 for $9 million, Carson, then 61, tied the knot for the 4th time. His wedding ceremony was attended by his brother, Dick Carson, a TV director, who supported his decision. According to sources, Carson's dreamy and lavish beach house in Malibu, which came with his favorite koi fish and a special tennis court, was listed for $81.5 million in 2017. According to Henry Bushkin, Carson's legal advisor and friend who wrote a book on him titled Johnny Carson, the then newlyweds went to London for Wimbledon immediately after their wedding, having spent plenty of time together getting to know each other. Bushkin expressed mild surprise regarding Carson's decision to marry Mass, describing her as intelligent, friendly, and refined, yet not remarkable. The author noted that Mass didn't leave a lasting impression during their encounters. Carson's relationship with Mass was not characterized by indifference, as Bushkin suggested that her influence did not have a significant impact on him. In his book, the Los Angeles-based lawyer detailed how Mass gradually began to influence her husband's business decisions, convincing him to replace his longtime art dealer with her father, Tom Paul. Despite this, Carson's friend and colleagues believed that the couple was deeply in love and well-suited for each other. Tennis coach Graham Kay observed how Mass brought a sense of completeness to Carson's life, becoming a true partner who brought him immense happiness. Biographer Bill Zamey highlighted how Carson presented his authentic self to Mass, and she accepted him for who he truly was, leading to a successful and thriving union. Bushkin, who was Carson's confidant for nearly 2 decades, hinted at a possible separation between Carson and Mass, despite the fact that they never officially divorced. He praised Mass for being the top wife among Carson's spouses during their 18-year marriage. Those who knew Carson well, including Bushkin, described him as a reserved individual who enjoyed hosting gatherings. While he was known to have struggles with alcohol and could display anger and cruelty towards those who crossed him, regardless of the reason for their actions. Carson's final episode of The Tonight Show aired on May 22, 1992, marking his retirement. The following day, comedian Jay Leno took over as the host. Carson believed he left the show at the right time, stating, "You've got to know when to get off the stage, and the timing was right for me." Even during his self-imposed exile at his luxurious Malibu mansion or aboard his yacht, Carson always kept his audience in mind. He continued to create jokes based on current headlines, showcasing his unwavering dedication to entertaining viewers. Similar to his quadruple bypass surgery in 1999, Carson became discreet about his battle with emphysema. Years of smoking had taken a toll on his health, resulting in frequent hospital visits. As time passed, Carson's friends noticed him becoming more distant, reducing his public appearances. On January 23, 2005, the legendary TV host passed away at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in LA at the age of 79. By his side were his two sons from his first marriage, Christopher and Corey, as well as his fourth wife, Mass, who stood by him until the very end as he fought against his lung disease. Despite not having children together, Mass and Carson were known for their extravagant lifestyle, indulging in luxurious vacations to various countries. She remained his wife until he took his last breath, and before he took his last breath, he confirmed that he truthfully never thought he would find someone he would call his love of his life until he met her. The late television personality did not have a public memorial service, and his family made the decision to keep their grief private. Following his passing, heartfelt tributes and messages poured in from both the television industry and his fans. After her husband's death, Mass chose to avoid the public eye, with her most recent appearance being in the documentary of Johnny Carson, King of Late Night. She also inherited Carson's substantial fortune, which she divided with their two sons. Furthermore, Mass became the owner of the Malibu residence where Carson had lived since the 1980s until his passing. Carson's show served as a launching pad for numerous performers, particularly comedians and musicians. Being able to make Carson laugh and receiving an invitation to sit on the guest chair were considered the highest honors for a comedian appearing on the show. Notable individuals who experienced this honor include David Letterman, Freddie Prinze, Robin Williams, Jay Leno, Jerry Seinfeld, Arsenio Hall, Jeff Foxworthy, Ellen DeGeneres, Rodney Dangerfield, Joan Rivers, David Brenner, Tim Allen, Drew Carey, Howie Mandel, Roseanne Barr, and Don Rickles. Thank you for watching. To support our channel, please subscribe.